Asteroid City is a film by Wes Anderson, starring an ensemble cast that includes Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Bryan Cranston, and others. The film is made to resemble a documentary about a play called Asteroid City, hence the title of the work being in quotes. The work is broken into segments titled according to the scenes of the play, interrupted by documentary scenes. One of the most prevalent themes in both the made-up play in Asteroid City and the film itself is facing reality and grief.
The light of the desert sun is neither warm nor cool, but always clean, and above all, unforgiving.
Asteroid City is a film that constantly reminds the viewer that nothing in it is real. Lighting and color are used to indicate what universe events are happening in. Scenes from the play are extremely saturated with bright greens, blues, and oranges, and scenes from the documentary are completely grayscale. Everything in the play looks fake, plastic, and emphasizes the fictionality. People have strangely bright skin, lighting is uncanny, set pieces are way too basic to look real. Everything in these segments emphasize that Asteroid City is not real. The characters in the play are not real, even in the universe of the film. Everything is fictional.
Asteroid City does not exist.
The documentary sections are completely opposite. Things are way more serious in these sections, jokes are drier, sets are more realistic and complicated and feel real. Camera shots are less artistic and are more static. The frame is even an Academy ratio rather than a widescreen. Neither of these realities is anything like the world in which the viewers live. However, the themes of Asteroid City can be applied to the real world and hold true no matter what reality you are in. The characters in Asteroid City are all actors playing characters. For example, Jason Schwartzman plays Jones Hall, who plays Augie Steenbeck, and Scarlett Johansson plays Mercedes Ford, who plays Midge Campbell. These characters are introduced in the documentary, but are explored through their performances in the play.
Why does Augie burn his hand on the quickie griddle?
Well, I don't even know myself, to tell you the truth. I hadn't planned it that way. He just sort of did it while I was typing.
I guess the way I read it, he was looking for an excuse why his heart was beating so fast.
Upon their first meeting, Jones and the playwright, Conrad Earp, are immediately drawn to each other and form an intimate connection. This is all the audience knows about Jones for a majority of the film. Jones's character in the play, Augie, has gone through the loss of his wife before arriving in Asteroid City with his children for a junior Stargazer convention. Augie is a depressed man stuck in grief. He's unable to connect with his children after his wife's passing. Soon after they arrive, there is an eclipse viewing, during which an alien arrives and takes the city's asteroid. The news of the alien gets to the public, and Asteroid City is placed under quarantine, until the alien returns the asteroid and everything seemingly returns to normal. The alien's theft of the asteroid is a surreal representation of death. It arrives, takes something from you, and leaves you wondering. It is revealed near the end of the film that before the performance of the play shown,
Conrad Earp, American playwright, unequaled in passion and imagination, dead at 50.
The entire film follows Augie coming to terms with his wife's death in the play, as Jones comes to terms with his lover's death in the film's reality. As Augie becomes closer to Midge in the play, Mercedes helps Jones come to terms with his grief. Augie is a character stuck in a depression, and Jones is a man stuck in bargaining and denial. Both of them find themselves close to acceptance, but stagnant.
Think of the places. Think of the world.
Use your grief.
For rehearsal? I'm not even in this picture. I'm a war photographer.
Use your grief.
This scene in the play shows Midge attempting to get Augie to accept his feelings through a rehearsal with her. However, through Johansson and Schwartzman's performances, the audience understands that Mercedes is telling Jones to channel his real-life grief into playing Augie. She's giving him a way to understand the character without the man who gave him a reason to.
See, my sandwich is burning.
The aforementioned scene with the quickie griddle is not played as intended by Conrad. The meaning of the scene is originally what Jones described, an excuse for why Augie's heartbeat increased around Midge, Augie denying he has feelings for someone after his wife. Jones, however, actually burns his hand instead of pretending to. This is shown through Mercedes breaking character in her reaction as she looks around to confirm.
That actually happened.
Jones is using his character's grief and his physical pain from burning his hand to understand what he's feeling.
How did he look?
Like we're doomed.
Maybe we are.
When the alien returns, representing the acceptance stage of grief, right before things return to normal, Jones realizes
I still don't understand the play.
and runs off stage. The audience is set backstage with him as he searches for the director, Schubert Green, left to wonder what happened on stage.
I've got 6.5 minutes before my next line. I need an answer to a question I want to ask.
Okay.
Am I doing him right?
You're doing him just right. In fact, in my opinion, you didn't just become Augie. He became you.
Jones finds himself lost in the shared grief between him and Augie.
I feel like my heart is getting broken, my own personal heart, every night.
Jones is grasping at straws, trying to hold on to Conrad and do his writing justice.
Isn't there supposed to be some kind of an answer out there in the cosmic wilderness? Woodrow's line about the meaning of life.
Maybe there is one.
Right. Well, that's my question. I still don't understand the play.
Doesn't matter. Just keep telling the story. You're doing him right.
When he asks if he is doing him right, Jones is not asking about playing Augie. He's asking his late lover's close friend if he's doing right by the man. Green affirms him, saying that he is doing him right. He's doing what he should be doing. Jones is lost and doesn't know what he should be doing. He doesn't know how he should be feeling what he is feeling. This is a new emotion for him. He hasn't had to deal with the grief on this level before. Green makes sure the other man knows that he is doing it right. He's feeling his feelings the way he should be feeling them. Even if you don't understand the world around you, you have to keep going. You can't put your entire life on hold just because someone you love died. You have to keep going. Jones leaves to get a breath of fresh air and finds the actress who was supposed to play Augie's wife on the balcony. She recites their lines, one of which is the wife telling Augie,
I'm not coming back, Augie.
This hits Jones with the realization. He cannot dwell on his lover's death. He must accept it. Augie must accept his wife's death and move on with Midge. The alien must return the asteroid. What is perhaps the strangest part of Asteroid City
Can't wake up if you don't fall asleep.
sums up the entirety of the film. You can't move on from a death without dwelling in your
You can't
grief.
wake up if you don't fall asleep.
What?
You can't find yourself if you're not stuck.
You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep.
You can't face reality without accepting what doesn't feel real.
If you don't fall asleep.
You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep.
You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep.
You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep.
You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep.
You can't understand the play if you don't live it. You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep.